Poor people in Melbourne now, they're just calling it disaster state on in the Daily Mail, and apparently the rental vacancy rate's still very low here, although we've still got those signs out the front of my place. That's one or two things: either there's a bit of BS with the stats, or my place is undesirable, but I don't think it is. I think I'm in a pretty good location, so I'd be very surprised. I think there is softness. It makes sense, because Airbnb places have dried up. There's no whole... Now, there's very few people can fly here now, so that whole market had to transition into the normal rental market, which has actually flooded it with property. So I can't see the vacancy rates as low as they're saying. I think I said about 1.7% or something. It seems very low. I think a healthy one's over 2%, 2.5%, something like that, I think. But thank God I don't have to rent. That was a time I was not happy. I mean, I would make a lousy homeless person. I really like the security of having my own place, even if it's rental sort of halfway there, but ownership is... I just really prefer ownership because you don't have any hassles. No one can throw you out, and you can do stuff to your place. Although I haven't proceeded with my grand plans, I really would like to go ahead with them, and I'm thinking I'm earning so little interest with my cash that I might as well spend money. It's an incentive, because what's the point? It's not holding its value. So it really is an incentive to spend. I can't spend it on travelling overseas. So maybe I should get into some heavy renovation in the house. That would make a lot of sense. I definitely need a new oven. I need a new kitchen, revamped kitchen. So I'm thinking of maybe starting on all this on Thursday. I also need new curtains in the lounge. I put that off for ages. So I might head down to Spotlight on Thursday. It's a nice day though, as you can see. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, the weather's hopefully this will last for a week or two like the last lot of good weather. We'll see. But no guarantees. Yeah, apparently Elon Musk was making some rather interesting tweets. I'm trying to think what the guy said about it. He said something. He was defending Amber Heard, which I suppose, if he was actually an item with her for a while, I suppose you can understand that. Mind you, I don't know what she's like as a person. I just know about the scandal, and from what I hear, it's not good. I remember that couple, both her and Johnny Depp, came to Australia and basically brought their pet dogs in without doing quarantine. Just typical celebs. They think they're above everyone else. They don't have to follow our rules. They're in their private jet. They think they can just sneak into the country and circumvent all our rules. That's just so typical of celebs. And Johnny has his drug issues apparently, so I suppose he's you give these people fame and fortune, they lose it. I can understand that. Not that I've actually experienced either of those. And it may be a good thing, because you hear about lottery winners, for instance. Now, I would never do this, but these lottery winners, they just go and squander all the money. I would definitely not do that. I'd be looking at investing it, because I'm used to investing. If you've got some shares, you've got somewhere to put your money. But I'm nervous about having shares, because I think the world economy is shaky as hell, and that's why I was looking at gold. But it's just not the right time to even think about it. It's just too high. It's still going up. It's crazy, but that'll have to dip down a bit, I think. That's one lesson I've learned through investing in the stock market. You need to have patience to wait for the dips. It's really important. Both the stocks I sold, the Reject Shop and the Wallies, they've both dipped in price since I sold them, so that's been good. They did go a little higher than what I sold them at, but now they're below, so it looked like a good move. I didn't take as much profit as I could have, but I still took a profit, and that's the most important thing, because I've missed out on them in the past. So yeah, it worked out well. Well, I have to return home wearing some hospital garb here. Don't ask me why. They said I couldn't wear my normal top and came in on because it's got some gunk on it. So I look like an escapee from the hospital. It's ridiculous. But the good news is I got done what I needed to get done. But I wanted to actually just they prescribed me some antibiotics, and they got this small pharmacy where I go. It's not in the main hospital, and they make it almost impossible for you to pay. You can't pay there at all. You've got to go to the main pharmacy to pay by credit card. And they said you can wait 2 weeks to do it. I don't want to do it now. I'll do it when I come back. But yeah, just made it very difficult to pay. So they wouldn't take cash. They won't. Actually, you just can't. There's no way you can pay at the small pharmacy. So whatever. I'll go back there soon and get it done. I don't think they'll break the bank. Just one prescription. I think they can wait a while for that. Otherwise, I would have just got it done by local pharmacy. If it used to be that sort of hassle, it would have been easier. They're only about a block down the road, and none of that crap was going through. So, whatever. It is a nice day, though. A very nice day. Looking forward to getting back home. I'm a bit tired. I wouldn't mind having a bit of a snooze. Very happy to get that first half of my story about relocating the cans done. That was one I really wanted to get out of the way because, you know, it is a popular subject. I've been putting it off for a while, and you know, I like doing my daily updates with everything that's happening in Victoria and what have you. There's a lot of local and national news to cover, so yeah, it's I enjoy doing that actually. I mean, it's a good outlet doing the blogs, so I wouldn't mind upping the frequency a bit. Apparently the algorithm that Google's got, they reward you if you have more than 10-minute slots every day. That seems to be what they're looking for. And of course Tim Pool takes that to the nth degree. He has gee, I reckon he re-releases 4 to 6 videos a day. Probably 6 is more like, because once he's done his normal videos, then he does a chat with his friend Adam. So he like internet relay chat, what he calls IRL. I think it's called IRL channel, where he's just having an occasional chat with this friend of his, who are both skateboarders, and you know, libertarian skateboarders who used to be big Obama fans, and now they're disillusioned, and they're both contemplating. Well, his mate Adam's definitely voting Trump, and Tim Pool's virtually declared he will as well. Now these are the people you wouldn't expect to vote Trump. So all these opinion polls, which are actually going now in Trump's favour, they're turned around a bit, and they're actually now looking better for Trump. I personally think he'll crush it. I think it's going to be absolute devastation for the Democrats. They may even lose control of the House of Reps, which will be great, and then the Republicans can have control of both the Senate and the House of Reps, and there's no one who can block them. And if they don't get their agenda through, then they've got no excuse, and it might be the last time they're in a position to do it, because Trump is fairly unusual. His son may well run in the following election. He's definitely positioning himself that way. He's a good looking guy, he's smart. Obviously he's got plenty of money behind him because he's a Trump, and he's pretty articulate. So I see no reason why he couldn't do the same. And what he's got going for him, he's a bit younger, he's a bit more tech savvy, and he knows how to... oh, that was one thing that was really annoying, is that they had a hearing about the antitrust laws in America, which is, antitrust means anti-monopoly in effect, just a term they use, trust, and they use that against the robber barons, the robber barons, I should say, in the turn of the century, the Vanderbergs and maybe Carnegie was included. That was a pretty big deal too. JP Morgan, all these guys who had monopoly wealth, and in America they took them to court and broke them up. The latest one they broke up was AT&T, of course. Was it AT&T? Well, it was Bell. Now, the Bell company was broken up into baby bells, and AT&T might have been broken up too, but they definitely have done that in the States, which is good, very healthy, because these companies can get way too big, and that's what's happening with big tech. You've got about 4 real monoliths there, so the likes of Google, obviously, Facebook, which is not doing brilliantly but still around. You've got Amazon, which is a bit real monopoly now, and there's trying to think what the other. Oh, of course, Twitter. Twitter's another of those big tech companies that nearly all of them are left-leaning too. It's weird that this has happened. It's just only the minions actually have real libertarian type ownership, like BitChute, which is tiny compared to Google, tiny compared to to YouTube for that matter. So, I've got my exercise for the day. I feel buggered already. I'm only about a quarter way through. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.